Okay, is this on? Is it on? Yeah. Welcome to the 6th annual Big Idea competition. Please take your seats. We're going to get started. I'm Des Stone-Menendez, the Director of Innovation at CC. It's been a pleasure to run the Big Idea for the first time this year. None of this would be possible without the vision of President Jill Tiefenthaler. Please join me in welcoming President Tiefenthaler.
Thank you, Des, and welcome everyone to the Big Idea main event. I want to thank Des not only for organizing this event this year, but also for the tremendous impact that she is having on our students and innovation at Colorado College. An alumna of CC, Des returned to campus a little over a year ago in September of 2016 as the Director of Innovation. As she says, the orienting principle of my work is to empower people to lead larger and more creative lives. At CC, we want to innovate innovation, and Des's understanding of the field and its impact is moving us forward in really important ways that has many benefits for our students. So Des, thanks. We're glad that you're here. 2018 is the 6th year for the Big Idea competition, a celebration of student ingenuity and innovation. I'm thrilled that it's becoming a signature event at Colorado College and a cornerstone from which we're building our innovation program. The Big Idea has launched successes like Wadi Climbing and Kadi Energy that are now thriving businesses. All 3 teams that placed last year are still operating and developing their ideas. Last year's winners, Flyphone, is still working hard to go to market, and it has had a lot of success over the last year, including an innovation to pitch at the biggest drone conference in the US and being accepted into an accelerator program that will begin soon in Boulder. Agugu, our 3rd place winner last year, has gone to market in Tanzania, and their app is available for download. And the first female-led team, Chica Chocolate, that placed 2nd in the Big Idea last year, has gone to market and is back in the finals this year. I want to recognize all of our student teams and thank them for their hard work. They represent the diverse experience and interests of CC students. Last year was the first competition in which we had any female-led teams, but this year we have 3 female-led teams, making up the majority of teams in the finals. Our teams are bucking the national trend in the broader startup world in which women make up only a small percentage of founders. We have teams from 3 of the 4 class years represented, and I'm very excited that we have 2 first-year-led teams in the competition. CC's wide range of majors from the social sciences, arts and humanities, and natural sciences are all represented. And the spectrum of ideas and ventures that participated in this year's competition are reflective of the robust liberal arts education at Colorado College. Des will introduce our judges in a minute, but I'd like to thank them all for being here today. Colorado College's Big Idea would not be the program that it is without you. Each of you lend your expertise, your experience, and your insight to our students in invaluable ways. And the creative community that we are nurturing at CC is stronger because of you. Thank you. So now it's my privilege to turn it back to Des. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. So I'm going to give a quick overview of the process, and I'm going to give the audience a job. So each team will have 10 minutes to pitch, followed by a 5-minute Q&A with the judges. There will be quick announcements in between. I do promise to introduce the judges after the first team. At the end, there will be a cheering competition and a grand prize drawing of $500 and gift cards from local businesses. I want to emphasize that the cheering competition happens at the end, like after all the teams are done. You can certainly applaud after the teams, but we're on a time schedule, so. When all the teams are done, judges will convene, and then we'll announce the winners and hand out checks around 6 p.m. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to emphasize that this program is about so much more than what you see today. The process is far more important than the outcome. I can't believe I'm getting emotional about you all right now. And I've been totally blown away by the growth and hard work I have seen from these teams in a very condensed amount of time. So to the teams, I want you all to know that you've already won in my book. And you've stepped into the unknown and taken risks. You've been courageous, and you've fully shown up. The process has been truly inspiring to witness. So to the audience, you have a job today. Your job is to fully believe in and support these teams. I want them to feel your support. This is not an easy thing to do. They've worked really hard, and they deserve it. Okay, so for our first team, Raw Sauce with CC student team members Alex Harros and George Folks.
My name is Alex Harros, this is George Folks, and we are the co-founders of Raw Sauce, a sustainable fermented foods company. At Raw Sauce, we allow for unique flavor to shape the future of sustainable agriculture through environmental and social responsibility. Just 5 months ago, George and I set out to find a way to easily spice up our home-cooked meals, and we encountered the brilliant process of fermentation. Fermentation filled a nutritional and flavorful void in our lives, and our love for cooking and spice led us to Raw Sauce's premier product, our signature fermented chili sauce. We quickly sold out of our first 70 units of this sauce within 48 hours, and we realized that the traction that Raw Sauce has can provide a platform to change the way that we participate in the agricultural system. Industrialized agriculture is often viewed as a logical response to population growth. However, it overlooks the environmentally and socially destructive repercussions inherently tied to current big farming methods. Big ag's practices compromise vast swaths of ecosystems and contribute to 1/3 of our nation's greenhouse gases. In the Southwest alone, 90% of water consumed goes to agriculture. Further, this system is economically fueled through the exploitation of migrant farm workers and rips apart the social and ecological fabric of rural communities. It is imperative that we change the way that our society feeds itself. But how can we tackle such a massive systematic problem? Simply put, Raw Sauce is the solution. Through value-driven marketing and branding, Raw Sauce proposes a 4-pronged pepper roots approach to partake in and encourage industry reform. In phase 1 of development, we will support the movement by sourcing from local, organic farmers and distributing to customers who share a similar industry vision. Our labeling and social media platforms will provide digestible information to introduce and educate on the perils of industrialized agriculture and provide resources to combat them. By simply having a bottle of Raw Sauce on the table, be it in a cafe or at home, our products have the potential to spice up conversation with a healthy dab of activism. To support those fighting alongside Raw Sauce, we will donate a portion of our revenue to nonprofit sustainable food organizations. In order to operate responsibly as a food business, Raw Sauce will use this approach to minimize our production's impacts and further our cause by providing our consumers with resources so that they can continue to support sustainable foods after our products have been purchased. But aside from the values that we want to instill in our customers, we really just want to share our flavor. So, Pepper Boy, can you come out and get our judges a dab of Raw Sauce?
Sorry, this man thinks he's a pepper.
Once peppers and garlic are combined with our all-natural spiced brine, our batches undergo 3 glorious weeks of fermentation, where a micro-ecosystem develops. Lactobacillus bacteria quickly multiply and begin to convert the starches and sugars in our produce into lactic acid and many other probiotic byproducts. The proliferation of lactobacillus within our guts boosts nutrient uptake, decreases inflammation, and strengthens the linings of our stomachs. Their main byproduct, lactic acid, not only keeps vegetables in a state of perfect preservation, but also promotes the growth of healthy flora throughout our GI tracts and reproductive organs. A 2016 study on the food industry showed that the values driving consumerism are changing. Traditional drivers such as taste, price, and convenience have remained steady, but new values are surfacing and strongly influencing consumerism. These new evolving drivers value health and wellness, social impact, and experience. By satisfying all drivers of neo-consumerism, Raw Sauce is confident that we'll be able to infiltrate the trillion-dollar health foods industry. The evolving driver of health and wellness is key to our success as a fermented foods company. What consumers consider good for them is changing, from specific nutrients to more holistic benefits. And because of this holistic perspective, superfoods have recently seen an enormous rise in popularity. In fact, a 2017 study involving over 2,000 nutritionists found that fermented products will be the top grossing superfood of 2018, pushing avocados down to the #2 spot. This is huge. We're talking avocado toast at #2 and raw sauce at #1.
That's exactly right, Alex. And because we're entering the health foods market, not only are there hot sauces and avocados our competitors, but other probiotic products are competing with us for shelf space in supermarkets. Through our research, we encountered Burn Hot Sauce, a successful fermented hot sauce company located in Santa Cruz, California. Raw Sauce plans to take Burn's food business platform 2 steps further by incorporating advocacy for sustainable agriculture and our very own closed-loop hydroponic system, through which we will set a precedent by internally sourcing our own produce. Raw Sauce will differ from Burn by embracing the evolving consumer preferences for products that have social and environmental integrity. Here's a quick run-through of the past, present, and future of Raw Sauce. To date, we have successfully produced and sold over 70 units of Raw Sauce at $8 a bottle. Cost of a bottle works out to be $2.83, which has given us a pretty healthy profit. Keep in mind, our cost of produce is inflated due to sourcing from chain grocery stores. By estimating a bulk produce discount of $1 per pound, our cost of produce could drop 15 to 20%. In addition to producing and selling, we have reached out to restaurant owners and probed interest in purchasing bulk quantities of Raw Sauce. The next step is to further develop our company in 3 specific areas, the first being product development. By upscaling our production and sales, we know our financials are going to change. For example, bulk produce discounts will counterbalance additional production costs, such as the cost of labor and renting a kitchen space. But by sticking to our business plan, we are confident that Raw Sauce will be a stable and profitable company within 2 years of startup. The second area of development is our marketing and branding. We know as a company we need to further refine our label design, and we need to develop a value-based marketing strategy through social media. The success in this area of development will rely on Raw Sauce effectively advocating for our values and mission. The third area of development is building our customer base. To ensure the financial success of Raw Sauce, we need to know that our products are going to sell at a large scale. To measure this development, we will set a goal of selling 12,000 units within our first year of production. This feasible goal will fuel our expansion and fund the future of our company. The future of Raw Sauce lies in hydroponic agriculture. By growing our own food, we will truly be with our product from seed to sauce. Hydroponics will fulfill our goal of minimizing our environmental impacts and will allow us to responsibly grow varied types of produce, thus expanding our menu. From an environmental and business standpoint, hydroponics is the most efficient way of growing food. It uses 90% less water than traditional soil-based farming and eliminates the needs to use herbicides and pesticides. In addition to that, hydroponics can accommodate up to 4 times as many plants in the same space and provides the means for plants to grow up to 2 times faster. These happier and healthier plants will lead to happier and healthier customers. Our team consists of 2 individuals who share a scientific background and an understanding for the necessity of sustainable development. Our passion for cooking brought us here, and the values and missions of Raw Sauce will lead us to success. We have been guided through areas of uncertainty, ranging from financials to gastrointestinal health, by our team of advisors and collaborators, which includes these individuals here and extends much further. To get Raw Sauce off the ground, we are asking for $35,000. Half of this money will go towards upscaling our production and sales. 40% will go to marketing and branding, and the final 10% will go to overhead and legal fees. This investment will quickly be put to use and will allow Raw Sauce to realize its potential in shaking up the industry. It is important to reiterate that Raw Sauce cannot single-handedly fix the agricultural system. We simply are a small piece of an enormous grassroots network that supports sustainable foods. We plan to strengthen and grow this network by setting a precedent for what it means to be a sustainable food business. Our products are not only delicious fermented foods, but they are tools that allow our consumers to support the movement. Investors like yourselves can make meaningful change by supporting grassroots companies like Raw Sauce. With graduation soon approaching and literally no employment opportunities lined up, right now is the time for Raw Sauce to take off. We would like to take this time to thank the CC community and the Big Idea for this incredible opportunity. Thank you very much. Questions? Comments?
I'll start with the first question. So first of all, the hot sauce is great, or the raw sauce, delicious. I'm a huge hot sauce advocate, so I would love to buy some from you all.
Wonderful.
My question for you all is, I totally agree about large-scale industrial agriculture, and I work in an agriculture industry. And it's scary what's happening. We need a lot of attention. We need to change the system for how we grow our food. You all start with that argument and this big grand case, but I don't totally get how your product, with the big kind of lofty problem that you laid out, is going to challenge the current model of how we grow our food. And so my challenge to you all is, do you think that that environmental piece, that agriculture piece, is a key piece of your business model, of your branding, of your marketing, or is the more health avenue or aspect of how you're pitching this the more important way to go, or do you think you can achieve both? So I'm kind of asking a couple things, but to wrap that up, of just like what that big agriculture statement that you start out with, I agree, is scary, it's important. Can you better frame, if you want to, how your product is going to address and change that model?
I can take this one.
Yeah, sure.
So industrial agriculture is a massive problem, and as a food business, we're going to be playing into this agricultural system. So the first step for us is going to be decreasing the amount that we participate in this destructive system. And as George mentioned, we are not going to fix this problem single-handedly. We are a grassroots company that is working at the ground level to not only to use our product to get people are going to be buying this hot sauce and other fermented foods, not because they want to solve this massive problem, but because they want a bottle of hot sauce. But if we can, within our company, act in a responsible way and set a precedent for other food businesses, that's kind of the platform that we're trying to propel here. And also, a huge, huge part of this company is going to be the advocacy of our labeling and our marketing and our social media presence. And if we can get our consumers to buy into our product through our delicious fermented foods, then a byproduct of that will be education through our marketing, and that will be another incentive for them to continue to buy our produce, our products. You mentioned the health aspect. That's another huge portion of this, a bit unrelated to the industrialized agriculture disconnection. As a probiotic company, we are providing products that benefit our consumers' health. And that is, I would say that is just another facet of this, of our business model that doesn't necessarily play into the disconnect of us and industrialized agriculture. But it definitely is a very important piece of our business. Yeah.
I'd like to follow up on Meriwether's question, because big ag, I think you're talking about US big ag. There are other places like Holland. I spent a lot of time in Holland. Holland is the number two producer in value of exports in the world, right? This is a small country, fit into this campus almost, but they've done it in the most efficient way. They're the effective producers in the world in terms of energy, water, fertilizer, the whole works. You could learn so much on one trip over there that would jump step you ahead of everything you're talking about in big ag here. I think in big ag here, you're talking about John Deere tractors and things like that. Those people have already done it. And I've got information on that if you want to follow it. We also have some alums who are trying to do a good job in ag. One is Tom Damari, who's out in California. They own a very, very large operation in 29 states and so forth. People you should talk to as part of the network, the CC network, you know, doing it the clean way, as clean as possible and so forth. I think if you've got a good product, I hope you have your order pad ready at the end of this, because I'm certainly going to order some of this stuff. It's really good.
We have about 30 seconds for one more quick question.
Oh, shoot.
I have a quick question.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I'm so with you. I was so with you around, I loved how the attractiveness of the market. I loved how you guys were talking about that. It seems like you have really good energy between the two of you, which feels so critical in this. And you seemed focused. You know, the quality of your product was above all else, and that feels super powerful to me. The one place I got kind of hung up was when you started to talk about farming. And I'm curious to better understand your prioritization between, you know, building a high-quality product and this grow operation that you were talking about, and how that all fits in. Like, where are you in that process?
So we are essentially amateur hot sauce makers. So we want to kind of spend some time to perfect our product and wait till we can develop a market so that once we have this hydroponic grow, we have a place to put the peppers. You know, like we have all these peppers, and then we came into this competition thinking we're gonna ask for a hydroponic grow operation, but we essentially need to learn how to make the product, and then further down the line is our hydroponic grow operation, which I understand we're gonna continue to be buying produce from farmers, but we're gonna try and be targeting, you know, organic, small scale farmers, especially in the local area, that could help us out.
All right, while we're staging our next team, I'm going to take a moment to introduce our judges. Our first judge is Meriwether Hardy. Meriwether is a CC graduate from the class of 2009. She has worked across different sectors in climate-smart agriculture, natural resource protection, sustainable rural community development, wilderness exploration, and the development of innovative landscape approaches that foster low-carbon development. Prior to joining Biological Capital, Meriwether led special initiatives at Rainforest Alliance. Oh, sorry, Meriwether. I'm bad at the slides. And traveled to field projects around the globe to identify challenge areas and design and implement solutions. As Chief of Staff for Biological Capital, Meriwether focuses on business development, regenerative land use strategies, investor relations, recruiting talent, and on-the-ground project management. In her free time, Meriwether can be found cooking, doing pottery, or somewhere in the mountains, skiing, biking, or leading outdoor education courses for the National Outdoor Leadership School. Meriwether currently sits on the board of the NPR Foundation. Thanks, Meriwether. All right. M. Havens is also a 2009 CC graduate. She is a senior human systems designer at IDOU, an education startup within the world-famous design firm IDEO. With a background in leadership, education, and social finance, M has tackled innovation challenges in a wide variety of contexts, from venture philanthropy to healthcare technology. Passionate about education, M currently acts as a visiting professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Center for Social Impact Strategy and guest lectures at the Stanford D School. M holds an MBA in Sustainable Systems from the Presidio Graduate School and a BA in Environmental Anthropology from Colorado College. Thanks, Sam. Bart is a U.S. Air Force Academy graduate from Exeter College, Oxford. He earned a master's degree in politics, philosophy, and economics. He also earned a law degree from George Washington University and was awarded an honorary Doctor of Letters from the University of North Dakota. He serves on the board of the University of Jamestown in his hometown in North Dakota. At the University of North Dakota, he has chaired the Center for Innovation Foundation and is involved with the university's entrepreneurship program. Bart established the Dakota Foundation to address social issues and enhance human capabilities through activities that combine business discipline with charitable intent. The Dakota Foundation is a nonprofit organization founded by Bart in 1997 to focus his philanthropic efforts on initiatives that foster social entrepreneurship and enhance self-sufficiency, initially in the states of North Dakota and New Mexico. In his career, well, you and Bob have the longest because that's a, so, well, then I'll stop right there. All right, next up is Kishan Mangat. Kishan graduated from CC in 1996. With a degree in American political economy and is presently a member of CC's Board of Trustees. He is Vice President and General Manager of the Mobility Business Group at Cisco Systems. Kishan has founded numerous technology startups, including BroadHop, which was acquired by Cisco Systems in 2013. In 2014, Kishan was honored as a 40 under 40 winner by the Denver Business Journal, which recognizes enthusiastic and accomplished young business people. Kishan is an avid climber who lives in Boulder, Colorado with his wife and 3 children. Thank you, Kishan. And last but not least is Bob Seelig. Bob Seelig is a CC graduate from the class of 1961. He was class president, fraternity president, a Blue Key and a Rhodes finalist. He also has a diploma from the University of Nyenrode in Holland and was a captain in U.S. Army intelligence with 6 years of service. Currently, Bob is president of Davis Instruments Corporation, a California company he founded 49 years ago with a fellow MBA after graduating from the Stanford Graduate School of Business. He serves as a class agent and received the John Gardner Leadership Award at the Stanford Graduate School of Business. Living in the heart of Silicon Valley, Bob engages with a wide range of entrepreneurs, both as an advisor and investor. He also runs Seelig Construction and Development with decades of work in commercial real estate. His ongoing commitments include decades of leadership at the Ronald McDonald House at Stanford, engagement with Stanford Associates, and Stanford Medical Center. Bob has supported Northern California-based Vida Verde Outdoor Education since its founding in 2002 by CC alumni. Bob is a long-term CC Board of Trustees member, Warner Award recipient, and has hosted the legendary CC alumni event, Books on the Beach, for 36 years at his beach house in California. He is also the chair of the Board of Trustees Special Projects Team for Innovation at CC. It has been a pleasure to get to know Bob and his wife Meryl over the last year. They're great supporters of innovation at CC, and Bob has been a judge at all 6 Big Idea competitions. I'm honored to be in the Seelig Family Chair of Innovation presently. Thank you, Bob, and thank you to all of our judges. All right, our next team is Life Expectancy with 2 CC students, Lauren Weiss and Jack Hamrin.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming. Today we will be presenting our company, Life Expectancy. So I want to start off with an anecdote about my cousin, Zach Johnson. Zach is your typical Apple Watch user. He tracks the workouts he does at the gym and the number of steps he takes in a day, but lately, Zach has been having a hard time staying motivated. After all, what kind of significance does taking 10,000 steps a day have for Zach, or for anyone else for that matter? What does that golden number you hear all the time, 10,000 steps a day, really mean? So we founded our company to answer that exact question. Whether it's taking 10,000 steps a day, being diligent about flossing your teeth, or drinking a glass of wine before bed at night, the things we do every single day affect how long we are expected to live. And when you think about it, that's the whole point of eating right and staying in shape and being healthy. It's to live a healthy, long, and fulfilling life. So our mission is to help people live the healthiest life they can for as long as possible. I am a first-year student at CC, and I coded and designed the app Life Expectancy last summer in San Francisco. And I'm so excited to say that the app can be found on the Apple App Store, so you can actually whip out your phones right now and download it for free right now. But anyways, I'm also super excited to say that it's earned over 3,500 downloads since its launch in August. And so right now, the app is essentially a quiz. It asks you for a bunch of different health-related information, like what your stress levels are like, how often you exercise, how many hours of sleep you get per night, and the list goes on. The app then gives you a calculated life expectancy based on the information that you enter, and then gives you suggestions on how to improve your life expectancy based on your personal health-related data. Now, we are here at The Big Idea today because we need some money. We need money so that we can develop the app so that it will store data. Right now, as soon as you close the app, all the information that you enter is not saved. And so to get people to come back to the app and use it as a way to track a healthy lifestyle, we really need to implement data storage. So on this slide, I just wanted to give you an overview of all the different factors that we take into account when doing the life expectancy calculation. So as you can see, everything from your diet and nutrition to whether or not you're a smoker to how often you exercise to your date of birth affects how long you are expected to live. Our initial target market consists of people who already use health and wellness apps, fitness trackers, and even mindfulness tools. So actually, 172.5 million people in the United States make up this group of people. And we're also looking at avid technology users as the other part of our initial target market. The larger market opportunity consists of anyone interested in taking an active step towards living a longer and healthier life. When looking at our competition, there are over 8,000 health and fitness apps on the market, yet none of these apps give users a combined dialogue on how everything they do and every single health and wellness activity they partake in affects how long they're expected to live and thus their future. So instead of competing head-on with apps like Fitbit and LifeSum and Apple Health, which we realize are apps that users have grown to love, we plan to integrate their technology with ours. So for example, we want to integrate Apple Health's technology to show Zach Johnson how taking 10,000 steps a day instead of 6,000 will positively influence his life. And while others have created life expectancy calculators online, we are far more than just a fancy algorithm working in a black box. We proactively and engagingly motivate users every single day to live a longer and healthier life. When looking at our competition, we also want to mention that MyFitnessPal, which is a super popular health and fitness app, did not make a dime until it was sold to Under Armour for $475 million. Now, money is not our motivating factor. We truly just want to see this app working and people downloading it and using it. But the fact that other health and fitness apps have exited at such high valuations demonstrates the potential of our company. So today, we are here seeking funding, but tomorrow, the next step is implementing data storage and developing our app so that it is more marketable. So with that, we also want to include integrating Apple Health technology in the app. And within the next year, we want to go through a seed round of investments. Now I'd like to hand it over to my business partner, Jack, who will cover the financial aspect of our company.
Thank you, Lauren. So this graph here is talking about a user growth trajectory once we hit a couple of important waypoints here, including data storage, publishing on the Android platform, and integrating Apple Health. The big key here, our big focus is user growth because user data is going to allow us to make insights, to generate insights that go unnoticed today. So imagine places like the unregulated supplements industry, areas where a full view of an individual is not always tracked in combination with everything else they do. Gathering that data is going to allow us to generate insights to help people all over the world make decisions that actually help them increase not only the length of their life, but the quality of every day they have moving forward. In this, we're going to use creative growth hacking methodology, combining algorithmic targeting, native content, and use of our own customer base to keep our customer acquisition costs low, and we're targeting below $1 per customer on our free version here. Moving forward, we have identified a couple of different revenue streams that we're going to explore, and keeping a lean startup methodology is going to allow us to dip into multiple revenue streams and see what really works best for us moving forward. Some of those are partners with smaller and larger entities. This is marketing-focused partnerships for other brands and for us as well. We have built a potential freemium model offering users like you guys specific consultation with nutritionists, personal trainers, or even mindfulness coaches on a subscription basis. And we truly believe that as we move forward, the data that we generate from users all over the world is going to allow us to offer really valuable consulting services to other companies building products for this market.
So this is our team. I'm a first-year student at CC, computer science major, economics major. I'm a Betcher scholar, so I'm from Colorado. So naturally, I'm super into running marathons and skiing and playing tennis. And I've also been developing apps since I was 16. So to be able to combine these two passions of mine is something that's really special to me and really exciting.
And I'm Jack Hamron, and I am a senior economics major, and I'm here today because I believe deeply in Lauren and what she has started here. I joined this team a little bit later on. Lauren built a good amount of the product before, but I truly believe that an idea that unifies the health and wellness data is something that somebody is going to do, and I had to be a part of it. I have spent most of the last 5 years working for startups in San Francisco, watching people build companies from the ground up. Worked for a couple great companies that built mobile applications for companies like Pepsi and Heineken. I headed up sales for a startup that was acquired by HP, and I gathered a skill set that's going to allow me to help Lauren make this dream a reality. We also have a couple great advisors helping us out with this. Dan Johnson, an economics professor, introduced me and Lauren and is supporting us here today. Moving forward, Dr. Stephen Weiss is a medical advisor helping us figure out how these different activities affect life expectancy. And Kara Richling is a dietitian and nutritionist helping us on the nutrition side of our freemium model.
So today we are seeking $50,000 in funding. Most of this money will go towards developing our app to launch the second version on the App Store, but a portion of it will go towards forming a corporate structure, which includes getting marketing involved and a PR firm involved. With that, we thank you for your time, and we would love for you to download Life Expectancy right now on the App Store.
Should I start, perhaps? Yes. I downloaded your app and I used it, and I loved it because it said I would live to be over 100. So
good.
I really appreciated that. The question I have, it seemed to me to be an app that I would use once, and I probably wouldn't come back unless I changed my behavior or my habits.
Yeah.
So how do you get people to come back? I mean, I realize you're talking about data storage, but explain that in a little more detail.
Yeah, so as you mentioned right now, as soon as you close the app, everything that you enter is not saved.
Right.
And so the big opportunity here is implementing data storage so that our users will come back to the app and update their information constantly and see like how a workout at the gym will add however many hours to their life. And that's really what it's about. That's why
I just wouldn't do that, I don't think. I'm just trying to react honestly. I mean, I would look at how changing specific habits might change the longevity, but looking at it on a daily basis, or
I think
a weekly basis,
that's a huge reason why we are integrating Apple Health technology. So you must have an iPhone,
I do,
which Apple Health is already installed on your iPhone.
Right.
So actually, Apple Health is tracking exactly how many steps you're taking right now. So if we are able to, which we definitely can, integrate Apple Health's technology, you wouldn't necessarily need to come back to the app constantly and update your information. Apple Health's technology will do that for you. So this is actually the developer kit that I have access to as an iOS developer. And this is something that's super feasible and within our reach to implement. Yeah.
And sort of
Then
along
one
those,
more quick question. Explain to me directly how you make money. Do you sell advertising? Do you charge for fee? How do you make money?
Yeah, so we're experimenting with making the app cost money. Right now it's free.
Right.
But we're also considering in-app advertisements. So you could picture partnerships with companies like Weight Watchers. So imagine like someone who probably should lose some weight, and the app would track that and know that, and then imagine a Weight Watchers ad popping up for them. And there are many different possible revenue streams. We've also considered partnering with smaller and larger entities, because we know that insurance companies find this information super valuable. So we could potentially exchange some of our data about our users to and connect their customers with our app and form partnerships that way. Yeah.
So I had 2 comments and then 1 question. First of all, I think you really need to emphasize the scientific or academic efficacy of the results. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of thought that's gone into the algorithm, but I think that's sort of from a consumer point of view, you know, how do I know that this is really accurate? So that's just something to think about that didn't really come through in the presentation. Secondly, there's a CC alum who was heavily involved in Map My Run, which was acquired by Under Armour, and then has been at the forefront of technology development in this arena, sort of fitness technology. So happy to introduce you to him. He'd be a great person for you guys to connect with. My question is really about the funding. So it was, you know, you talked about a lean model. You know, companies can get apps off the ground for next to nothing. So it's just sort of curious what the $35,000 was going to be used for, in terms of on the development side.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And in a perfect world, we could spend the next year and a half learning how to build this all ourselves, but the truth of the matter is somebody's going to build this, right? Somebody is going to unify data that's coming through apps like LifeSum that tells you what your nutritional goals are doing for you, that comes from Apple Health looking at fitness. None of that's out there today. And so at this point in time today, we don't have the expertise to build the data storing functions ourselves. And we know how to go about getting that done with a little bit of funding. The reason we're here looking for that and not trying to build that ourselves is we really, truly believe that we need to get to market fast on an idea like this. So that short bit, that small piece of technology that needs to get built will take us a long time to learn ourselves, but is actually pretty easy to get somebody else to do for us today. And so I understand that along those lean startup methodologies, yes, we could possibly figure out how to do this in the future, but at that point, it may be too late. This is a market that moves really quickly, and you know, this is a concept that is now out there today.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Life Expectancy. President Tiefenthaler already mentioned some of this at the beginning of the program, but I want to take a moment to acknowledge all of the teams that participated in the Big Idea this year, particularly the 4 teams in the semifinals that did not continue to the finals. I'm equally proud of the work they've done and look forward to continuing to work with them on their ideas. Again, it's exciting that we have 3 female-led teams for the first time in the competition. And I want to mention that Innovation at CC is presently in the process of creating auxiliary programming for next year to make this competition accessible and inclusive to all students. It doesn't look like they're quite ready. I think we have a couple moments. So I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge Patrick Boltema, my predecessor as the Director of Innovation, who really built this program up over the last 3 years successfully and is here today with us. So thank you, Patrick. All right. Our 3rd team that's returning from last year is Chica Chocolate, made up by CC student Cassidy Lamb and Elise Morgan from CU Boulder. Welcome to
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cassidy Lamb.
And I'm Elise Morgan.
And we are Chica Chocolate. It's an honor to be back on the stage. At Chica, we infuse high-quality chocolate truffles with a Chinese herbal formula chosen to ease your menstrual cycle. Our mission is to help our customers love their period every day of the month. We are a problem-oriented startup, and the problems we seek to address, periods, aren't going anywhere soon. At least half the world will menstruate in their lifetime. But judging by the giggles, we still don't know how to comfortably talk about periods. This taboo manifests in nuanced ways, but in some parts of the world, menstruation can even be considered a disease. In the US, this stigma has stagnated innovation in period products, and pharmaceutical remedies like birth control or pain medication focus primarily on suppressing period symptoms rather than improving actual menstrual health. With very few alternatives available to address their needs, many people with periods turn to these synthetic options that can negatively impact their health in the long term. And that is just the least of it. When many menstruators don't even have access to tampons, period relief is out of the question. This has got to change. We say our customers should love their period, but how do we plan on making that possible for them? It starts with our herbal formula, which promotes hormone balance to reduce challenging period symptoms, like cramps, PMS, migraines, mood swings, acne, you name it. By covering our herbs in chocolate, we are putting the medicine you need in a treat that you already crave. We then ship our delicious remedy directly to your door, perfect for the unique timing of your cycle. You don't even have to remember to order your Chica. It will already be in your cupboard. The truffles and the box that they come in are what make Chica real, but we want to be more than just a product. We want to create a positive period dialogue. So our message and our model is built with the Chica in mind. Our message is meant to be shared, just like our chocolates. Each Chica box contains 36 truffles, enough cocoa magic for 3 months of period relief. We recommend that you eat 2 truffles every day in the week leading up to your cycle, the same week where you stereotypically crave chocolate. Using a period app like Clue will help you remember when to enjoy your Chica. But if you're like our other customers, you won't need any reminding. If this idea of a better period sounds good to you, or you want to share it with someone you care about, go sign up on our website right now. We mean it. It's available, ready to ship, and ready to eat. So what's the big deal? Who would buy a product like this? As it turns out, a lot of people. Over 41 million people in the US alone report struggling with menstrual pain or PMS. And 37 million people in 2016 were actively searching for a solution like Chica but didn't find one. And only 6% of those people were using a pharmaceutical remedy like birth control for relief. So there's a lot of demand for something new. That's where we come in. But we want our customers to also be able to reclaim their time of the month and have a more positive period experience. But before that's even remotely possible, they have to be able to tolerate their period first. And that is where our herbs come in. Our robust formula contains dangui, chai hu, bai shao, bai zhu, and fuling, as well as zhigang cao, bo he, and xinjiang. Each ingredient is worth mentioning on its own. But what makes the formula really powerful is how the herbs work holistically to enrich the blood and strengthen the liver, the qi, and the spleen. Let me translate. Our formula targets the root of challenging period symptoms by providing the support your body needs for natural hormone balancing mechanisms to function optimally. If this still sounds too witch doctor for you, we get it. All you need to know is that it works. And while we are accessing thousands of years worth of traditional Chinese medicinal knowledge when we tell you these herbs improve menstrual health, Western research hasn't quite caught up yet. So we rely on our customers to tell us if Chica is working for them. And they tell a great story. When we conducted a trial period to see our customers' response to Chica over 6 months, in the first months, 62% of our customers saw a positive change in their cycle. But by the second month, 93% of our customers had seen a positive change in their symptoms. Some even saw their cramps and PMS completely disappear, which is bad news for Advil, but it's great news for us. But you don't have to take our word for it. You can take theirs.
Here are a few of our favorite testimonials. Now we know that these may be difficult to read, so here's a quick summary. Alyssa has been taking ibuprofen since she was a teenager to deal with the cramps and the migraines that accompany her flow. But after eating Chica, she didn't have to take ibuprofen for the first time since she started menstruating. Jordan also saw her cramps nearly disappear, and Ray is looking forward to her next period just so she can eat Chica. Bella says that she's grateful because she feels like her cycle is no longer her life's personal dictator. Before we had that level of validation, we had Marco Lam, Cassidy's father, an acupuncturist and Chinese herbalist, whose expertise and patience, who didn't want to take their herbs before he put them into chocolate, inspired us with this idea of Chica when we were still young teenagers. Cassidy and I still make up the core of Chica, and we have developed and delivered our product in true bootstrap fashion. But a lot has changed since last year. To start with, we've both gone blonde, and we've introduced more expertise into our team. We're excited to have Amelia Eskenazi, another CC student, join us in branding and content creation. And we're excited to be able to grow outside of our own kitchen by connecting with Patrick Zachary and Enstrom Candies. Our team is not the only team that grew in 2017. Encouraged by your funding and the feedback that we received on this stage last year, we launched straight into an R&D and rebranding period. We designed a brand that people resonate with, created an excellent product, validated our formula, sold Chica boxes, connected with the manufacturer, and laid the groundwork for a Chica marketing network. Once we made it through Chocolate's steep learning curve and feeling encouraged by the positive feedback that we received from our trial customers, we decided to release Chica to the public in a soft launch. With only word-of-mouth advertising, we saw traffic from 32 states across the nation, and we had no mutual connections with our very first customer. This shows that people really are looking for something like Chica, and they're finding us, which is great news. To further increase our reach, we've partnered with similar companies such as Thinx to access their brand following. And we want the Chica community to be a source of social engagement, and we've begun this by partnering with a local youth-run organization, Period Pals, whose focus is to provide free menstrual products in our schools and local family assistance programs. Following our soft launch, we connected with a co-packer in order to begin the process necessary to build the inventory for a hard launch. We've also designed a Chica marketing strategy that includes affiliates and Chica ambassadors because we know that this is the type of product that is most compelling when recommended to you by someone that you trust. Our direct-to-consumer model means that we'll have a 68% gross margin with each Chica subscriber. And we aim this year to keep our conversion above 3% and our churn below 35% so that we can reach a modest goal of 300 subscribing customers by the end of 2018. This modest goal of 300 subscribers fits into a sustainable growth model. Chica will be profiting within 6 months of our full launch. And in addition, even if we reach only 1/10 of 1% of that potential 41 million person market, we will be a $20 million company in 5 years. Our sustainable growth model is inspired by and validated by innovators such as Yvonne Chouinard of Patagonia, who led Patagonia down a path of sustainable growth because it empowers employees in the social messages that we wish to spread. Last year, you believed in our idea, and this year, we're asking for you to believe in our execution. To start, we're asking for the support we need to cover the legal costs of launching Chica as a national brand, including patenting, trademarking, and insuring our product, and talking to the FDA. R&D will cover the overhead costs required to scale our recipe with a large-scale candy manufacturer and build up the inventory for our hard launch. And finally, our biggest asks today are for you to help us spread the Chica message and expand our operational capacity. When we are handcrafting each truffle and hand-delivering each box to the post office, our ability to grow the Chica community is limited. Today, we're asking for the resources that we need to wash some of the chocolate off of our aprons and grow the Chica brand. That is the Chica story, a company for women, by women, focused on disrupting a damaging paradigm. If you believe in us, you believe in something better. Thank you.
I should recuse myself because I was here last year, but since you brought it up before, the whole prostate issue that I kind of jokingly mentioned last year, I'm going to mention it again because it's half of the other half of the market, right? and it's easy to do. It's saw palmetto, it's pumpkin seed powder, and it's stinging nettle, that's all. Wouldn't I rather have a box of that chocolate or the truffle rather than a bottle of Flomax sitting on my counter in the morning? Yes. So.
We'll keep that in mind.
That's what the next year holds for us.
Yeah, okay.
So it's so fun to see you guys back here. You have totally just gone to the next level. I love the branding. I went to the website. I love your smart and witty messaging and your text and photos and everything. Just, it's impressive to see where you all have taken this. I have a question because sustainability of sourcing and kind of environmental impact did not come up at all in this presentation or in what I saw on the website. And where does that play into when you talk about a better world? When you talk about the Patagonia model, they, of course, focus a lot on the transparency of their supply chain. So where are you sourcing your chocolate from? Does that play an important part into your model?
It does play an important part into our model because most of really effective Chinese herbs are wild harvested. However, I will admit, and unless you have done research besides me, that we have not actually put a lot of work into searching exactly for where our more sustainable supply chain will lead into in the future. But that's something that we know is an issue and that we're thinking about. But we've only been ordering like 3 kilograms of herbs, which is a very small amount. So for ourselves personally right now, we haven't been thinking about how to structure sourcing.
Definitely. Well, on a side note, I'd love to connect with you guys or help you with any of your sourcing if I can.
That would be amazing.
It's important for us to think about the sourcing of chocolate as well. We've done very careful research to carefully source and ethically source our chocolate, but because that's a very problematic industry, ideally we'd like to move into a space where we're beginning to end in terms of our supply chain. We know exactly where our chocolate is from. We have a relationship with who's growing it. Same thing for our herbs. That's our goal.
Great.
It's so inspiring to hear of your journey so far, and it sounds like this is not the beginning phase. I do wonder, I'm so curious around a moment when you all had to pivot or when you were facing a challenge that you had to overcome, and I would just love to hear more about what happened and how you reacted to that.
I think one of the biggest challenges for us in starting a chocolate company was learning how to work with chocolate. And so that was a small pivot moment for us in the sense that we are self-taught chocolatiers and have had to figure out the hard way that chocolate has 6 crystal phases and is very sensitive to temperature. And so when we first launched and first had our soft launch and were first sending product to our trial customers especially was during very hot months. So we had to figure out how to navigate a chocolate subscription company that would send the chocolates intact.
I would also like to add on to that. It's interesting because we don't have very much competition. So there's this feeling of like, there's this feeling of like, you have a period, so obviously you're gonna buy this product. And so we are constantly having to pivot and panic and freak out about like, okay, actually if we put a buy button in front of someone with a period, they're actually not that motivated, even if they told me that they lose 2 days every month to cramps. So that has been a pretty significant pivot for us actually, is figuring out like, it's kind of like, you're hungry, why don't you buy this food that's like right in front of you? Figuring out our marketing,
What is your distinction
from
versus
these guys?
your competition? Why buy your product versus theirs?
Okay, well, to start, Freudmann uses Swiss herbs and they're only available in the United States or in Europe. You can't have them shipped to the US right now. They're still very small in Europe. Mooncycle Bakery and PMS Bites are more focused. They're also very young, very small like us. They're more focused on like having a healthy treat when you're experiencing PMS instead of like going for, quote, a junk food. So they're low sugar, vegan, gluten-free options I ordered a Mooncycle Bakery brownie and it was about this big and it cost me $16 to get to my door. So it's very much so this sense of indulgence, but more just because you're having cravings and you want to feel healthier while you have cravings. And whereas we have like a very powerful formula that we're using, and we're more just wanting to deliver these herbs to people in a delicious way. And then Chocolita has a chocolate bar that promises to reduce cramping. It's a small line within a smaller chocolate company. It is actually similar to us, though, in that it has herbs in chocolate form. However, we believe that our formula is more robust. Good Day Chocolate is a functional chocolate brand. They do not have anything for periods. However, they have trademarked Be Moody, and so we are watching them, and we have them listed as competition. Okay. Thank you.
Well, we're just going to have to leave that one up there. The Big Idea program and theme of innovation is possible this year because of the vision and support of a number of people here at Colorado College. Of course, we're all deeply grateful for the leadership and vision of President Tiefenthaler and the Colorado College Board to make innovation a central strategic theme and commitment of the college. I'd also like to give an enormous thank you to Jake Eichengreen, Executive Director of the Quad program, who team taught the Big Idea half block with me this year and put in countless hours working with these teams. Thank you, Jake. It was a pleasure. I'd also like to thank my staff. It was the entire innovation team's first year running the Big Idea, which was no small feat. Cindy Hines, Innovation at CC's program coordinator, handled all of the logistics and that make this event possible. And Susie McMurtry, innovation intern, stepped in and supported both of us every step of the way. This would not have been possible without you two. Thank you. Thank you to all the faculty advisors for supporting these teams. And I would like to give a special thank you to Dan Johnson, to Professor Dan Johnson, who has been an incredible colleague and supporter of innovation at CC before I arrived and since I've arrived, and is the faculty advisor to 2 of the teams this year. Thank you, Dan. Finally, I'd like to thank the AV department and communications who have also put in countless hours. This is the first year we have had closed captioning on the live stream, and I'd like to thank Jan Edwards, Melanie Wrinkle, and Cindy Hines for making this happen. Thank you, AV and Communications. All right, now I'm gonna call up Cindy and Susie for our first raffle drawing, which are Josh and John's and CC Bookstore gift cards. Do you all need them, right? Cindy.
We are going to have first drawing. We're going to draw 2 raffle tickets. So Susie McMurtry and I would like to ask you at this time to pull out your raffle ticket, the half of the raffle ticket that we have. So we're going to draw the first one. All right, number 342167. So if that's you, please come on down. 342167. Alright. 342054. Okay, last one for this round.
Okay, last one, 342014.
Yay, Michelle. All right, thanks, you guys. We'll see you again a little bit later. Thank you.
All right, now I'd like to welcome our fourth team, Momentous, which is made up of 2 CC students, Alana Ahmet and Anna Gilbertson, and Josie Eichers from the University of Minnesota.
Hi, my name's Alana. I'm a senior physics major at CC.
And I'm Anna, a junior art and physics major at CC.
And today we're pitching Momentous, which is a toy kit aimed at kids ages 8 through 12 that gives them the connecting pieces to make their own Rube Goldberg machine. So you may be wondering what a Rube Goldberg machine is. Its definition is a complex contraption that works like a chain reaction to complete a simple task. Some of you may recognize this as OK Go's viral music video that hit over 52 million views on YouTube recently. And when I was a kid, featured here, I was obsessed with these things. I loved watching them. I loved drawing them. I loved trying to build them. So when it was time to make one for my 5th grade science project, I was so excited until I saw my neighbor Jesse's. His was perfect. He has what I like to call a power tool dad, whose garage is stocked with scraps of wood and tools, and his worked like this flawless wooden contraption, where mine was like this conglomerate of duct tape and Lincoln logs and cardboard. And even though my designs were really good, and all those levers and pulleys I'd drawn out were actually really hard to make. So, I moved on, I got over it. And 7 years later, in my senior year of high school, I had a chance to take my first physics class, and I fell in love with physics. And I had a chance to redeem myself in the Rube Goldberg arena, because that was our final for that class, to also calculate the energy transformations. And I ran into some of the same building issues I had as a kid. The levers and pulleys are hard to build. And I was also facing the additional challenge of being one of 3 girls in a class of 25 people. So I decided after that I wanted to combine my passion for physics, my passion for getting more women involved in physics, and my general obsession with these machines into one viable product. So that's where the Momentous kit came from. At its core, it is a wooden toy kit that's made up of levers, pulleys, ramps, and balls, all designed in a really simple and versatile way. So a kid only has to do a few quick motions to build their pulley or lever, and they can take their focus to their greater machine. And they're made of sustainable and durable wood to make them last longer. Additionally included in our kit is the programming, which includes an idea booklet, where giving kids an idea of where to start their machines, along with challenge cards, which give kids a way to invite them to include things they already own, all while using terms like momentum and force and gravity in really accessible ways to let them know that they're learning physics. Like I mentioned, our kit relies on including things you already own. It's not all-inclusive, in the sense that we want you to use your forgotten toys and things out of your recycling bin and anything lying around your house, and include it with our connecting parts. So whether it's Barbie dominoes, Legos, a robot, if you can't find a ball, you can use a rock, all with the same Momentous lever, creating a really fun, creative, and upcycled Momentous Rube Goldberg machine. So by not having to stick to these really detailed instructions and just the pieces within your kit, you can have hours of open-ended and imaginative play. And we want to take this open-endedness and bring it to the world of the internet, because whether we like it or not, kids are spending more and more time online. 79% of kids between the ages of 6 and 12 access YouTube on a regular basis. And we actually see that as a really great entrance point for us because of the viral nature of Rube Goldberg machines. We want to create an online video sharing community so kids can post videos of what they made, collaborate with other kids online, and participate in our monthly challenges, such as best way to use spoons, or most creative way to turn on the faucet. as well as be able to access more physics learning resources and have a chance to use our interactive contraption design so they can model their designs online like real engineers before they build them. Hopefully creating a really supportive, inclusive community for young inventors that juxtaposes the often toxic social media that we see today. So $20 billion in sales in 2016 is what the toy industry racked up, which is a lot of money. And we see Momentous fitting into 3 categories here. We see it as a building set, we see it as a game, and we see it as a STEM toy, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And STEM toys specifically are on the rise right now. Those 3 categories account for $4.5 billion in sales in 1 year, which is a ton. And additionally, 90% of these toys were made of plastic. So with our wooden design, we want to disrupt some of this by diverting some of this plastic waste by regenerating fun into the plastic toys you already own. STEM toys specifically are 3 times more likely to be targeted towards boys rather than girls, which we see as a major issue at Momentous. We want to strive for intentional marketing towards both genders, so whether you own stereotypically feminine toys or stereotypically masculine toys, you can see yourself being the head engineer of a Rube Goldberg's machine powered with Momentous, even if you don't have that many toys, just with the things around you.
As you can see, there are other companies with products like ours on the market, but Momentous is really unique. All of these, the play ends when you hit the end of the instructions. They're flimsy and they're cheaply made. We are durable, and because we have an open-ended design and an online community, we're truly unique. And we think that for how viral Rube Goldberg machines have proven to be, Momentous is filling a really big gap in the market. So this is our plan. We hope that with the help of funds from the Big Idea, we can refine our branding and prototyping to build toward a Kickstarter launch in January of 2019, during which our goal is $150,000. After that, we plan to sell online and enter manufacturing for our early adopters. In July of 2019, we want to expand our retail options. And later, as we grow and profit more, we hope to collaborate with educators in fighting educational inequity in the US. Our estimated cost of goods sold is $15 per kit. This includes raw materials, shipping, and packaging. But we anticipate that we'll sell our kits for $34.99. And that one-time purchase will include not just the physical kit, but the printed materials and unlimited online access. And beginning with that Kickstarter launch in January of 2019, we expect to begin to see revenue, which will grow in the coming years as our product gains popularity. So we're asking for $35,000. This money would be going toward building a relationship with our manufacturer and developing professional plans to send to a manufacturer, developing high-quality branding and packaging for our physical product, as well as our online component, developing an interactive website with a login component and with data storage that will do everything that we hope it can. And finally, to develop photo and media content for that Kickstarter campaign so we can really start off on a positive foot. So our team is Alana, myself, and Josie Eichers. Josie's been working in our finance. I've been working with product development, and Alana is really the founder of this project. And our advisors have been Steve Burt and Christy Eichers. But since Alana and Josie are both seniors, they're graduating in just a couple months. They really are prepared to take this project on full-time after they graduate. So our vision at Momentous is to create a world where fun doesn't necessarily mean more, where people aren't afraid to try and fail, and where physics can be appealing and accessible for everyone.
So thank you so much for watching our pitch. We're really thankful for opportunities like these, and I hope you can understand why a toy like Momentous would have been really valuable to a little girl like me. Thanks. So good. Oh, yeah. Oh, should we come stand by you?
So have you done any kid testing of the product?
You know, I wish we had gotten that far. These prototypes you see here, we all made ourselves out of wood. So they work, but we haven't gotten to the point where I think they would be, you know, durable enough to like not prove frustrating from a kid standpoint. But
it's also hard to get your hands on a set of 10 8-year-olds. So we're trying.
In the past 2 weeks, yeah.
To build off of Bert's question, well, one, if you need help finding kids and prototyping, I would love to. We have a toy lab at the place where I work, so I'd love to support you in that. But I'm so curious, so this next phase is about prototyping. What are you guys trying to learn? What are some of the big questions that you're really curious about that you want to test?
Well, I think he just answered one, which is how do kids interact with this? What's the most natural way a kid aged 8 to 12 would play with this, I think is how we're thinking about it. I think we've done a lot of good ideas about how to make our pieces really versatile. Some of them you see there. I think we need to think about how we're going to make our programming really combine that physics aspect and that fun aspect, so it doesn't feel like you're playing with like this educational toy that like your mom's making you play with. And really working on making a more refined prototype we could put in front of kids.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about was Rube Goldberg machines often don't work. And I think that's part of why they're so great is because they really teach kids resilience. But at the same time, you don't want them to be so finicky that they're defeating. So part of that phase will be working out those kinks and trying to set kids up to succeed as much as they can.
I love the upcycle. I love the lower cost. And I have a question, though, about your business model, because it seems like customers are going to pay a one-time fee. And have you thought about any other creative ideas of how do you still keep a low-cost option, but are there ways that if a parent really loves what you all are doing, can, you know, pay for additional kind of aspects or kind of being able to retain them as paying customers, not just as subscribers to what the material you're putting out?
Yeah, I have so many ideas. A few of them are that I think our idea is to sell online first with like a starter kit. So, you know, sometimes kids have things they can maybe use as levers, or they maybe already have certain things, or they're drawn to other pieces, so they could go back and make their own kit with the parts that they're really drawn to, we see as a way. We're also thinking of, you know, with contests, like inviting kids to like design their own contraptions and send in, like winners could get more things that way. So that would, you know, you could win this extra lever if you compete in our contest. So that could create a cycle that way.
There are a lot of other expansion options in like different sizes of levers or pulleys, etc., or also just different products in general that we could use as expansion packs.
We've also thought about doing like a subscription model where it's like, oh, the Momentous box is coming like in 2 weeks, like wonder what it's gonna be, to like keep that excitement up.
I love this kind of stuff, so yeah, it's great fun. You're pretty aggressive on your timetable. You know, the 150,000, you've got prototyping to do, you've got sourcing, all that has to get done to be successful in the Kickstarter deal. So I would talk to some real experts. There's one guy, a CC grad, Bob Moog in San Francisco, who started, maybe you know him, started University Games and struggled through the startup phase, you know, 25 years ago, highly successful. Maybe some of you know him, right? So, you know, staying within the network and talking to people like that can save a lot of time and avoid a lot of headaches. And time and, you know, you're going to be burning money fast, obviously. So you got to be smart about it.
Yeah, we agree.
Time for one more question. Well, I'll just add on. I mean, I love the creativity of it, the modularity, how it incorporates other materials, and it seems like, you know, you guys have really done a good job on concepting broadly. You know, next phase is product fit. That's what Em was referring to. I'm just wondering, in terms of go-to-market, and you know, how do you get above the noise in the toy market? And if you guys have any thoughts in terms of, you know, how would you basically scale the business over time?
Sure. Well, I think our Kickstarter is a good spot to start. We've looked at a lot of other successful toy Kickstarters, and we've seen that toys do specifically really well with getting the word out. And then it's hard because this is so far in the future, but
really building off of the YouTube, Instagram aspect and having people be able to, or kids, share their Rube Goldberg machines and be able to, collaborate with other people online, I think will be a really good word of mouth way to keep it growing.
Trying to take that old vibe of building something and connect it with this new way of kids interacting, as young as 7 and 8 years old on Instagram and YouTube all the time, and giving them something physical to do with it that keeps them competing or collaborating or however they want to move forward with it.
Yeah, we think the online component is really powerful in getting the word out there and spreading, just leveraging that viral nature that Rube Goldberg machines have had in commercials, in music videos, etc.
Thanks.
I want to acknowledge that it takes a community to support new ventures and that this means engaging with our local startup community. This year we had a fabulous semi-final panel made up of leaders in our local entrepreneurial and startup community. I'd like to thank Michelle Parvinru, Taj Stokes, Hannah Parsons, Yemi Mobilade, Chris Franz, and Peter Vogel for volunteering their time to be our semi-final judges this year. I enjoyed working with you all for the first time and look forward to future collaborations. Thank you. And finally, a special thanks to our co-sponsors and grand prize contributors, Mountain Equipment Recyclers, Poor Richards, and Mountain Chalet. All right, second drawing. We'll do it speedy.
So we have 2 more drawings. The first one is for a Kimball's Peak Theater movie punch card. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited. Okay, so we have the second drawing. We are going to draw 2 more tickets from the bowl. The first giveaway is a Kimball's Peak Theater movie punch card. All right, 342101. All right, 342109. 342109. Nope. 342050. 342050. Nope. Got it. Yay! Okay, so the second drawing will be for an Amazon gift card. All right. 342053. All right, thank you.
All right, now it's time for our final team nows, made up of 3 CC students, Deming Haynes, Charlie Kellogg, and Case Reagan. Welcome nows.
Imagine being able to confidently say, I spent my time doing what I love. This is what Nows is all about. Nows is a phone app that utilizes augmented reality, or AR, to display and filter local events taking place around you. From an academic speaker to an ultimate Frisbee meetup, engaging in your local community through event attendance helps people strengthen passions, meet new friends, and instills a sense of belonging.
event participation is clearly a positive thing, but people are unaware of events around them. However, in order to tackle this gigantic problem, we need to start somewhere small. How about right here at CC? CC even realizes that this is a problem, but this is what they're doing to try to solve it.
The digest. The digest exposes events happening on campus through multiple daily emails. But the digest does not solve our problem. The digest is hard to digest. It displays a lot of text and sometimes in poor HTML formatting. Students and faculty receive an excessive 2 emails a day, which clutters an already messy inbox. The digest is also not individualized. How many of these events actually line up with your interests and free time? Maybe only 1 or 2, but in order to be sure, you have to read through the entire list, and this often entails clicking on each of those links. The digest is even missing events. A lot of summit events and small meetups do not appear on it at all. But don't just take our word for it. It turns out that 96% of students don't click on any of the digest links. So, what's our solution? Enter Nows. Now shows you loads of information just by overlaying simple graphics on your phone camera. As you can see, there are 3 colored pins, this red pin, yellow pin, and blue pin. Each of those pins are geographically located above its respective event. Navigational arrows direct each user to each event and pin. Nows is personalized. Nows takes into account the user's interests. The number on each pin is our numerical rating system. It goes from a scale from 1 to 10. I'm really into photography and climbing, so if there was a how to photograph climbers clinic happening, then this event would be a 10 out of 10 and be bright blue.
Nows does more than just display information about events. You can connect with friends. If you're friends with someone, you can see if they're participating in an event or not. On top of that, attending events can even let you gain badges. These badges serve as a visual reminder of what you've accomplished, a sort of got done list, which is proven to make people feel happy. They're also a social motivator. If I saw my friends were attending a lot of events, I'd feel left out, and I'd want to attend more. Nows also does not clutter your inbox and is visually appealing. From an event hosting perspective, this means no more relying on printed out posters or email lists like the digest.
Nows allows any user to instantly post their own events, no matter how big or how small. CC is our first customer. From CC, we'll expand outwards to the Springs area. Anyone with a smartphone will find this app extremely helpful. And by having users at CC and in the Springs, we can better accomplish one of the school's largest goals, which is to get CC students engaged in the community and vice versa. This is one of the main reasons the Fine Arts Center and CC partnered in the first place. Many other schools use a similar system to the digest. The next steps in Nows' expansion would be expanding to schools outside of Colorado completely. One thing that I cannot emphasize enough is how big the market is just in the Springs. Even if we just get there, we have the potential to save CC thousands of dollars in advertising and help ensure that high-funded events get the attention that they deserve. These market bubbles also extend well beyond US schools. Anyone looking to maximize free time will find Nows extremely helpful. We already know that the music department wants to populate Nows with their events. We have also met with the director of college events at CC, who is eager to use the feedbacks and analytics that Nows is capable of collecting. We have met with event organization masters at the Chamber and EDC downtown. Our meeting with them made us realize how big this problem actually is. They said that the biggest ask in the Colorado Springs community is a universal community calendar, and that Nows is the solution.
So how does Nows work from a business perspective? Well, we get our events directly from our clients. Colorado College would be able to populate our events database with events from the CC event calendar and Ungerbox software. For events outside of the CC community, we're looking at places like peakradar.com, which is the largest and most comprehensive events database in Colorado Springs.
Local businesses looking to increase turnout for a special event will also find posting on Nows extremely helpful. Other users, especially CC students who are hosting something small, such as a thesis presentation or a movie screening, will also further populate Nows. Nows has many opportunities for monetization. Down the road, we plan to sell explicit rights to schools, to certain schools and businesses, allowing them to use unique graphics and self-touring software. Imagine visiting a school and using augmented reality to tour the campus. You can instantly see all the building names and what events are going on around you. Knowing what is going on around a campus can ultimately help a potential student make up his or her decision. Nows has potential for advertisements. Local businesses such as Poor Richards, who host live music, would love the ability to have a larger event pin pop up with a greater location range, maximizing the number of people who see their event. In return, Nows will provide basic analytics. Hosts have the capability of employing a short survey at the end of each event for their attendees to take. Right now, at CC, the success of an event is measured by the number of people who show up, regardless of whether they actually enjoyed the event or not. These short surveys that Nows offers would allow hosts to more accurately gauge the success of their event and better learn and improve future ones.
Right now, Team Nows is in the prototyping phase. We have a testing environment for our ranking algorithm and an interactive demo. Once we're able to bring on more developers, we're going to advance our prototype to a more finalized stage and launch. Our initial marketing efforts will focus on specific school ambassadors in the local area, but from there, we'll be able to expand to schools in Colorado and even in the US. It's important to emphasize that Nows is a universal platform, so any market that would want an event management system will want Nows.
So what's the competition like? There are no other apps on the market that does exactly what Nows does. But there are other event finding apps, such as Eventbrite. Eventbrite begins to tackle some of our same issues, such as personalization, and it also has some visuals. But ultimately, it's still a list, and it's like having a mobile digest on your phone, and it suffers from all the same inefficiencies. As you can see, Nows is really in its own category. Nows utilizes technology in a way that is engaging and effective. Specifically, augmented reality. It uses it not as a game, but as a tool. Meet Team Nows, which is all freshmen, by the way. I'm Deming, a potential astrophysics major, and I'm the founder of Nows, and I work in user interface design.
My name's Case. I'm a computer science major, and I'm our main developer. I'm responsible for the prototype and certain aspects of the business model.
Charlie is a future mathematical economics major and works on the creative side as well as the business side and programming. We are pleased to be working with Dr. Dan Johnson, who's a great advisor on the business and design thinking side. Professor Johnson and Professor Benegali's course, Creativity and Logic, was the birthplace for Nows. We are also pleased to be working with Troy Haynes, my dad, who works in quantitative solutions and risk management at SAS Software, one of the largest software companies in the world.
Team Nows is asking for $50,000 in order to finalize prototyping and launch successfully. $25,000 of that will be put towards turning our prototype into a finished product. This would involve hiring developers, conducting market research, and paying for data storage. The other half will be put towards marketing. We will prioritize specific school ambassadors, but a secondary goal will be to help Nows make the jump from school systems and into local communities.
With this money, our team is confident that this will become a reality so that people can spend time on the things that are important to them. Thank you.
Well, I love seeing a team of all freshmen. That's pretty awesome, so congratulations. Quick question for you all, it's actually up here on the screen, is that if I was using this, I would have two fears. One is that are you gonna filter my events so that I don't get to go to something that would be unique or unusual or kind of bring me out of my comfort zone? Because I know you'll be tailoring it to watching kind of what I'm interested in. And along with that is one of your values in your kind of core values in your business plan is spontaneity. And can you explain to me how this could help you be spontaneous? Because it seems like, again, I love the organization, but just like where does spontaneity come into that?
So to address your first question, which is filtering events, we have various filtering methods. So we can filter, for instance, 5 and up rated events. But if you want to try something new, we can also filter 1 to 5. So it's all about how the user chooses to filter his or her events.
There's also the idea of being able to, when a user first goes in and kind of says their preferences, if they want to try something new or unique or something they haven't done before, to be able to kind of randomly jump those up on terms of that algorithm so those are displayed as higher as something that you've never tried before.
And with the spontaneity, This app is really designed to be used at the moment of free time. So say I have free time right after this pitch, then I pull out Nows, and then I see, oh wow, there is a rugby meetup going on. Never tried that before, so maybe I should go. and it might rank surprisingly high on a numerical rating system.
Great question. And to build off of what Meriwether was saying, you know, it seems like the app, there's a key assumption that it's heavily dependent on user engagement data. And as somebody who has been a part of a very successful and then a very unsuccessful healthcare app startup in Silicon Valley, I'd love to better understand your thinking around some of those user engagement strategies.
So one thing in terms of like development is we plan to have a fully working kind of our original kind of, I guess in a beta in a way, next year. And throughout the course of I guess 2018, we're planning to be able to use that in smaller groups and smaller kind of organizations at CC and be able to take those metrics and be able to incorporate it to our design. Because the actual like user interface and experience is almost what you're selling, and that's so important. And being able to actually collect metrics on that is really important for when we go and we do our final rollout.
And also, it's important to mention that by marketing to sort of like systems like schools that are already in the market for event management softwares, you're skipping the whole process of having to build a user base one person at a time and rely solely on user-generated content.
Can you all show us a little bit more of your financial model and kind of how you all are thinking about where your revenue will come from?
I think a main like a source of revenue is going to be licensing from the schools themselves. And it's really hard to attain direct like what people would end up paying. But even if we said, looking at like what an average university pays for something like Canvas or one of those kind of licensings, like kind of software, even if we play a 1/10 of that, and if we just had probably CC plus maybe one of the other schools, either CC, oh my God, I'm gonna refer it, the Spring School or the Air Force Academy, we would by, I think it was 2020, we would have perceived our initial investment and doubled up there. So we'd be at around 10 shares in revenue. And most of that would have been poured back into marketing and trying to expand to other schools, both across Colorado and outside the state.
I had a problem with the numbers too. I mean, your revenue growth is good. Your costs are basically flat for 5 years. And this is a dynamic market, right? There's going to be a lot of R&D. It's going to be very disruptive. How do you keep up without spending more money?
Well, I think it's mostly that the cost to development won't scale because once we have the finished product, like it was mentioned earlier that getting into the app market isn't especially expensive just to develop a finished product.
Yeah.
And things like that will come along, but we can't foresee them right now.
All right, one more quick question. All right, thank you now. Okay, thank you everyone. I'm gonna turn it over to Cindy and you're gonna have some entertainment while I convene with the judges. And we will be back shortly to announce the winners.
Okay, so as Des and the judges leave the stage and go into the green room to deliberate and come back in about 25 minutes with a winner or winners, we are going to continue to have a little bit of fun right now. The lineup, what will be happening is we will be having the Big Idea cheer competition. Then we will draw the final grand prize, which is some gift certificates totaling $500 from Mountain Equipment Recyclers, Port Richards, and Mountain Chalet. So thank you to their co-sponsors for that. And then we will also have Trey Newman, who is a senior in the dance department. He will be performing a solo piece, as well as a few minutes with the CC Bluegrass Ensemble. And those students, I just wanted to mention them real quick. Sorry, I'll have them introduce themselves when they pop out. So let's start with the cheering contest. So for the cheering contest, here is how it works. The object is for the team who's got the loudest cheer will win a dinner with Des Stone Menendez at a restaurant of their choice. So what I will do is I will mention each team's name. I'll give you all a chance to respond with the loudest cheer possible. And then Susie and I will try to determine who is the winner of the cheer contest. So keep in mind, this is your opportunity, sort of the popular vote. It's your opportunity to cheer for the team that you think you would like to see win. So the first team, if you all remember, was Raw Sauce. So let's hear it for Raw Sauce. Okay, so now that those people have no more voice, the rest of the teams will have a better chance at winning. Okay, so the second team was Life Expectancy. Let's give it up for Life Expectancy. Woo! Cool. Our next team was, who was third? Oh, Momentous. Let's hear it for Momentous. Nice. Uh-oh, this is going to be a tough call. So fourth up, I'm sorry, Chica Chocolate. Let's hear it for Chica Chocolate. We didn't want to miss Chica Chocolate. All right, how about Nows? So we might have to do a tiebreaker. Can we hear it one more time for Raw Sauce? Thank you. And another call out for Chica Chocolate. That's really tough. Personally, I think Raw Sauce might have been the winner. So good job. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw for this grand prize, which again is $500 worth of gift certificates from Mountain Equipment Recyclers, Poor Richards, and Mountain Chalet. There's just one winner this time.
All right, here's the big one. 342-154.
Yay, we got a winner. All the way down. Okay, and I'm going to kind of saunter off and see where our entertainment is. Okay, I found him. So Trey Newman will be coming out right now. Nice. Trey Newman, everybody. Trey Newman. Trey Newman. Thank you, Trey. So I don't know if you guys know Trey. I met Trey a couple years ago as part of the Bridge Scholars Program, and I just get a lot of inspiration from Trey. He's somebody who takes dance and innovation to a new high. Thanks, Trey. Okay, now we have the Bluegrass Ensemble, and I'm sorry, you guys, I forgot the cheat card that I had with your names. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
I'm Allie McGarrigle. Francis Murray.
Michael Hassan. I'm Garrett Blackwell. And I'm Jeremy Becker, and I play the drum on a stick.
All right, so got some time with the Bluegrass CC Bluegrass Ensemble. Thanks for coming out, you guys.
Cool.
Well, I damn near walk this world around. Another city and another town. Another friend to say goodbye. Another girl to sit and cry. Well, it's many a mile I've been on this road. Many a mile I have gone. Well, there was one who loved me best. You know, she gave my poor heart rest. She was the one, someone who cared. And now she's gone to God knows where. Well, it's many a mile I've been on this road. Many a mile I have gone. Many a mile I've been on this road. Many a mile I have gone. Well, it's many a mile I've been on this road. Many a mile I have gone.
All right, you guys ready? Ready?
When the curtains of the night are pinned back by the stars and the beautiful moon sweeps the sky, teardrops from heaven are kissing the rose. It's then that my memory finds. Well, love on the wings of a beautiful dove, I'll hasten this message of cheer, and I'll bring you a kiss of affection and say, I remember you, love, in my prayer. Well, the angels of heaven are guarding the good as God has ordained them to do. In answers to prayers that I offer to Him, I know there's one waiting for you. So go where you will, up on land or on sea, and I'll share all your sorrows and cares. Each night as I kneel by my bedside to pray, I remember you, love, in my prayer. Oh, each night as I kneel by my bedside to pray, I remember you love in my prayer. Thank you guys so much. It's a pleasure to be here, I guess tonight. It's tonight now, I guess. We're the Foxy Morons. Tonight we are. And yeah, it's a pleasure. This is my actual first gig of the year. I was abroad last semester, so I get to play with these lovely folks. Wow, that was really bad. Well, okay, so we got a night for a night of bluegrass. I'm not actually sure how long we're playing, but we're just gonna play until they kick us off. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, sounds good. All right, so yeah, sounds good. Now these two are gonna sing you another one called the White Freightliner Blues. trucks whine. I'm going out on the highway, listen to them big trucks whine. Oh, white freightliner, won't you steal away my mind? That's Allie on the bass and Garrett on the guitar. Yeah, cool. In the deep rolling hills of old Virginia, there's a place I love so well, where I spent many days of my childhood, in the cabin where we loved to dwell. White dove will mourn in sorrow, the willows will hang their head. I'll live my life in sorrow, since mother and daddy are dead. As the years grow by, I often wonder if we all will be together someday. And each night as I wander through the graveyard, darkness finds me as I kneel to pray. White dove will mourn in sorrow, the willows will hang their head. I'll live my life in sorrow, since mother and daddy are dead. White dove will mourn in sorrow, the willows will hang their head. I'll live my life in sorrow, since mother and daddy are dead. Since mother and daddy are dead. Thank you.
Okay, guys, I think we're ready to hear who the winner is. Thank you so much for coming out. It was awesome. Big fan. Thank you. Okay, we're going to have Des come back up with the judges. I think we have a verdict.
All right. Is everyone ready? Who won the cheering competition? Okay, in third place, we have Momentous with $10,000. All right, in second place, we have Raw Sauce with $15,000. first place, we have Chica Chocolate with $25,000. I just want to emphasize how hard all of these teams worked, and great job, life expectancy and nows, and you're in your first year, so we expect to see you back up on this stage before you graduate. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
This